All right, good to have you. Appreciate you fucking with me, Brookin. All right, we're gonna jump right
Okay.
into it. The first thing was I asked you was is what's the meaning of your name? Let everybody know what's the meaning behind Percy Bones.
Okay. So the whole meaning behind Percy Bones is genuinely that like how it came to fruition is just
All right, man. So yeah,
fuck
we
with the
got you.
shirt, man.
Yes, I got to work with the
Fuck
shirt.
with the
Y'all got to
shirt.
go copy it. I know the link is in the description. I hope, right?
It's around, man. You can find it.
Man, boy, y'all got to get up on that. You got a lot of
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
merch right there. All right.
yeah.
Let
Uh,
everybody know too. Where you from?
I'm originally from UK, man, England, the north of England, Northern Wolf. Yeah, not from London, because mostly when people think United Kingdom, they think
Uh huh.
London.
They
Nah,
do.
man, I'm from the north. I grew up in Bradford, but I spent maybe like 10 years of my life or something in Leeds. Like big up Leeds, all my Leeds heads.
Okay, bet shit. All right, what made you start rapping?
I've just got to give full rep to my boy Chibi Ignorant. That is his like alias now, but we've been
Nah.
friends for like over like 10 years, probably like longer than that. And when I was making beats when I was young, he was like MCing and I would like send him beats and stuff. And I always just saw myself behind the buttons.
Uh
And
huh.
then I saw like I started playing in like bands and stuff. Ended up moving on to like doing like vocals and stuff in bands. And I don't know, man, like rapping, like is something I've always enjoyed, but it's like something, the rap element is not something I fully felt a part of. You know what I mean? I felt like I was just enjoying like the rhythm and the flow
Got
of
you.
people's voice rather than like the lyricism. And then, after I'd like washed up with like a few bands that I was doing, I was living with Chibi, and then we would like, I'd make a beat, and then we'd just be like, we'd have like the Beats headphones with a microphone, and we'd just be like, yeah, fuck it, let's just
That's
try
how
a
I
little thing.
started. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah, that's it, man. So we just like tried like do a little thing. We never really put anything out. We was just having fun with it. And he was kind of like, you should just like try and blend everything that you like together. And I was like, nah, yeah, I don't know. And then yeah, Percy Bones was from that point, maybe
Okay.
a year and a half ago. It was in the plan, in the thoughts, but I didn't really know where to go with it. And then the Mr. Bones track, I'd literally just like wrote a beat, and as I was writing the beat, like every 8 bars, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna put something weird on here. Wrote the next 8 bars a little bit more of like a weird thing, and then just like when I played it back, I was like, this is hilarious. It's just like my
You have
voice
a
is
very
like
unique style.
up and down, and yeah, man, I guess that's just everything that's happened since that point. Like
Hmm.
what you will hear from me in terms of like shouting rock or something like that is probably something that was like pre-made, but a lot with like the rapping stuff that you're
Okay.
hearing it and the rate that it's coming out is it's just as it's happening. Like I'm just riding the wave, man, as it's coming.
That's lit though. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
So you started off making beats first and then started rapping.
Well, I'd always kind of like messed around with beats since like
Okay.
school. Yeah, I didn't really do so well in school, so I just like put most of my effort into like making beats. Like around the time where I'm from in like the north of England, it was like garage, like bass line, dubstep, like bass, kind of things like that. And then I'd always been like a bit of like a mosher towards the back end of school. If you want, I liked like Slipknot, System of a Down, and stuff. And then
Yeah, the
I was
classic
like going
ones.
to gigs. I got taken by the hardcore scene. Like I really loved like the
Mhm.
hardcore scene, like the
In the past
energy.
couple of years, the hardcore scene took off, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I was in that shit like a long time, and then after that, alongside me, like doing like hardcore bands and punk bands and stuff, I was still like messing around, like making beats and shit. So it's always kind of like been in the background. But like after I'd done with like the last few bands, I started writing more stuff on my own rather than waiting. You know what it's like when you do like a band or a group or something.
Yeah,
You're constantly waiting for like someone else to like come through so you can do stuff. So I started writing like a lot of my own stuff, and I
okay.
guess that's what kind of like led to this point.
So how long have you been rapping for?
Oh man, like I think I recorded my first dumb rap on my, on a shitty laptop that I had like years and years ago, maybe like when I was fucking like 17 or some shit. But that was nothing. That was just like, I always like the flow. When I look at like, like when you listen to a beat, if you're a producer, you look at like the rhythm and
Okay.
just how someone bounces around. So like that's how like a flow like translated to me. So like the whole rapping, I don't know, man. Like, like all of us, we all just like make rhymes or lyrics, or
Yeah.
when I've done bands and stuff, it is all kind of like rapping in a there, whatever. But doing it this way, man, it's pretty new to me.
Oh,
You know
it's
what I
like
mean?
on there.
For
Okay.
for me, I don't see myself as much of a lyricist. I just like bending my voice around and just kind of like, oh yeah, just
Uh,
like how can I change that beat into something else?
but you're very creative with it. Like you have a bunch of songs that I really fuck with. Like I said, I like Mr. Bones is really hard, and Levitate is really hard. I like the new one you just came out with, and you're in the warehouse, and for the visuals on that was really good. I like that one.
How do you mean like pull the trigger?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah,
Pull the
yeah,
trigger.
yeah,
The
man.
visuals for that was really nice. Like, and I asked, who helps you with your recording, for the visuals?
Recording for the visuals, a lot of the time that is myself or like my girl. Like, eh, she's got a lot of experience like within like making like music videos and stuff like that,
Oh,
and like
okay.
within like graphics and shit. And then me, I've always just like I've got I've got a vision for stuff. Like when I hear something, I've kind of got an idea like what I want it to sound like. So like how it normally goes down is like I'll say like 5 key points that I want in this video,
Okay.
and this is the kind of like setting I want from it, and then there's a bit of like creative directing that comes in from her end, and then we just kind of like blend it together. I'll admit, like, the videos don't always come out the exact way that I thought, but there's always like an additional piece that makes it like different, you know what I mean? So like shout out to Hyperbeam Cat, man. Like she smashes it.
Yeah, 'cause I see you got the little change going on over there too, and then I know you had I see you change up the swagger every now and then on your videos.
Yeah, man. It seems at this point I'm like hiding my haircut. I put a post on like Instagram the other day, and people was like, "Yo, have you cut your hair?" And I'm thinking, bro, I had a Britney moment like months ago. I just never told any of you. Yeah, yeah. I think I like with social media. That's the benefit of social media. I can just confuse the fuck out of people, but I'm still having a good time with it. Yeah, I think the two dreads thing like really took off, so I had to replace it with some chains in it.
So
Big up.
where do you draw your inspiration from, or how do you draw your inspiration? Where does it come from?
It's kind of hard, man. Like me, I'm a really like weird guy in sense of like music. Like 1 minute you might catch me listening to like 50s like surf rock or something,
Okay.
jump over to like 80s synth pop, and then the next thing I'm listening to like fucking like Pantera, or fucking like Rage Against the Machine, or I might even like jump to some like hardcore bands and stuff that I like Black Flag and Minor Threat and shit. It's kind of like all over the place, but if there's anything I take from all of it, is just kind of the aggression, like the execution. If there's like one thing about hardcore that really set out to me, it's just like it didn't even matter too much about the intensity, or like like how complicated the music was. It was
Mhm.
just like the power, the energy that came with it. But yeah, man, I'm good. I'm just gonna say that like a lot of my influence comes from like my surroundings, a lot of sub scenes that
Mm.
I've been part of. Like, years, and especially like hardcore punk definitely left like a mark on like how I visualize and want to execute music now.
Uh-huh. So
Mm.
you would say you were more into the underground scene than you are into the mainstream scene.
Definitely, man. Like I'm not a biased guy. Like I can say that like some chart music, some pop music, it bangs. It definitely does. It's there for a reason, but it's
Yeah.
just like it's too like oversaturated and shit. Like I like the nitty gritty kind of stuff, man. I like when things sound raw, and I like, the intimacy that you get of like the underground scene, like when it's like you and the artist rather than just like all the fucking production and the corporate
Yeah.
shit that's around it. Feels much better to just like go see someone play, and then after they've played, just be like, yo, man, that was fucking sick. I love the energy. Do you know what I mean? Like, can you remember like the last big artist that you was really into, that you enjoyed their set and you could just like speak to them after?
Yeah. It's
It's
been a
kind of
while.
unheard of.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
Are you looking to do shows and stuff like that, like in performances, like, or are you just trying to stay with your videos and just stick with putting out singles?
You know, man, like my mind like changes a lot, like what I want to do and shit. And like I guess I want to play shows, and I've played a lot of small shows in my life, but like I kind of want to play some of a bigger capacity. I don't want to do anything that's like huge, but it's just like I want, like I was just describing, like when I see kind of semi big artists that I like, and there's just that kind of like crowd participation and
Hmm.
shit. Like, when I got here to Tokyo and stuff, I got speaking to some people. I played like an open mic night, and then like I actually played at like a curry shop. That's where I met Yak Swamp. But yeah, played like a couple of these few events, and then coronavirus hit hard, and I was like, right, I'm not gonna be sad about this shit. I'm just gonna like write, and record. And like now I feel like I'm preparing. So like the next show that I do play, I want it to be good.
I could see from your videos. I know you're gonna have a lot of energy on these shows. I fuck with the videos.
I
What
like to jump around, man.
uh like what helps you develop as an artist? Like helps your artist development, like and keep you going and motivates you to continue.
I guess it's just like people that fuck with me. Like, obviously, I'm doing this for myself, but it's just like if I put out a track and like one person likes it, that's my inspiration for the next day to go and write another song. Like, I'm writing like two, maybe three songs a week. I won't use all of them, but it's just like it's the inspiration that I'm getting from people liking the sound that I'm trying to like develop, and the diversity that helps me like make the next one. So yeah, man, that's a really tricky question to answer. But yeah, man, it's just me expressing myself, and I guess it's the crowd, like the reception from other people that like really helps the growth and the process.
Okay, I feel you on that. So like what is your goals for yourself and like you hope to achieve with the fans?
I mean, goals that I want to take on, man, is just like I want to take like a more cinematic approach with it. Like, from an early age, I've been obsessed with like 80s horror movies, and just like, like this cheesy old movies, and just like, I guess with my videos, I would like to be making more money so I can put more money into my content. So like it's more enjoyable. Like I want each video at this point, it's just establishing, but like how I'd like to go with it, it's just like I want to take people on like a ride and just be like, oh, this, what's the next video gonna be like? What's the concept and stuff? Like I'm watching a lot of like material, like a lot of old movies, new school movies, like kind of like thriller, sci-fi, and I'm just kind of like concocting in my head, just kind of like, right, how can I translate that into my own thing, like later on? I want to kind
Trying
of
to
take like
be like a
different
melting
approach.
pot, like trying to incorporate everything into one.
Yeah, man, I don't just want to be like known as kind of like just making the music. I just want it to be like, oh, oh, not did you hear that? Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I get
Did you
what you're saying.
see? And like I want to build this kind of gradual build, so people keep anticipating like the next thing and then the next thing.
Bad. I feel where you're going with that. So like do you have any new songs or albums coming out in the near future that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, man. There's so much. My head is an absolute mess, man. I feel like the writing part is
Uh,
definitely easier than the sorting part. At one point I was just splurging out tracks and wasn't getting any traction. So like now I've been advised by people that I need to have some kind of structure, how I'm like going to be like dropping songs and stuff. But in terms of releases, man, I've got quite a few like singles coming, like just myself with like other producers. There is a few with like other artists that like I fuck with, so it's just like
okay.
yeah. And then there's two big projects that are in the works. I've got one that might be dropping in like December, January, or after that when I feel comfortable. But that's with two producers called Sage Beats and the Bastard Hand, and you might recognize them because Levitate, Code 19,
Okay, that's okay.
uh,
So it's gonna be a lit
that
album.
yeah, they hand, and you might recognize them because Levitate, Code 19,
Okay, that's okay.
uh,
So it's gonna be a lit album.
yeah, they made those tracks, and they're my homies from back home, and like we
Okay.
actually like out of all the songs that I've made, the songs that I make with them seem to pick up like the most traction. So like I'm quite excited about that. It's just going to be like a longer, moodier mixtape, kind of like going down the element like Headhunt and Levitate kind of shit. And then you might have seen that I posted about it a bit. Me and Yak Swamp have been working on a project. Like we don't really have a name for it yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm actually dropping a single off it today. I think it drops in like an hour and a half or something. Disorder. Go and check that out. Go
That,
click that'll be on like my bio or something. But as for that one, we don't know when that's going to come out. That took like a very different turn to what we thought because the first few tracks were like kind of heavy, and then
mhm.
some of the other tracks are like singy, kind of like new metal, right? Really like genre blending, and it's just like
Okay.
I feel like we both need to because we're both. This is even though we've both done music for a while, we're kind of new artists, so it feels like we need to get a lot more of his own stuff out and then drop this project that we've done together like later on. So we're just going to keep dropping like singles from that until
Yeah.
that point. And a really cool thing, man, as well with that project, we've actually linked up with a guy called Sev. I think it's Sev Colazo. Like he does like wet plate photography
Oh,
with
okay.
like a really old camera. Yeah, man, it's a crazy process.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
like when he showed me in front of me, he's like, take my picture in a booth, like with like a really old camera. Then he like drops it in some chemicals, and you see like the negative like flip,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
then it's like on some like plastic sheets. He sometimes does it on metal. Incredible artist, man. Like I was blown away. So like me and Yak have decided to team up with him, and we're going to showcase his art alongside ours. So
Mm,
that's like
I like how you're
that's
trying to
I'm really looking
incorporate just not
forward to it.
music, but you're bringing in artwork and all kind of other stuff. So you're like bringing in performing arts with your music. You're putting in, of course, the lyrics, and then now you're like you're bringing art into music. So it's not just lyrics and being all crazy in front of the mic. Like you're actually trying to be creative with it and take it a step
Yeah,
above.
man.
Because
Just
most
like
artists is they just take a camera on their cell phone and then they it's a video on Triller or TikTok or something. But you're actually taking the time out to make quality stuff, and that's actually appreciated because not much people are doing that no more. So
big love, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I want to create like a tea where I can just have everything around it. Like I don't get put in a box, and there's constant like evolving, and like I like working with people. I like the whole like collaboration sense, even like with music to people that are doing my art or something like that. It's just like I like the collaboration factor of it rather than just being like, oh, I bought this beat and then this is me.
yeah,
I like the whole like, oh, this producer, his kind of style meets my style, and then like maybe like photographers, artists, graphics designers, like kind of like their style meets my style, and we can
you
all
got a
kind of
lot
like,
to work with because you're very versatile. So I see it's not so hard to probably work with you because you got different styles and personalities. I seen even throughout your music. I fuck with.
yeah, mad respect, man. Like I'm happy that people are picking up on that.
I noticed too. Like I see you used to do a lot of collabs with this group Ice Machine Boys. You no more collabs with them or anything?
Well, I don't know how much I can go in depth with it
I
because that's the
it's
that's the
actually what
homies from back back home. But basically,
uh-huh.
Ice Machine Boys is Sage Beats and the Bastard Hand.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And you know what it's like, man. When you're an artist, you're like flipping around names and oh, I'm
Yeah,
working with
so you guys
them,
are
and it
experimenting still.
yeah, like things like evolve into like different things, and like those boys have got their own studio in Leeds and stuff now. So I think that they're looking for a bit more like recognition individually,
Yeah.
which I totally understand. So it's just like Ice Machine Boys, the whole thing. It still does exist. I think that they do more like mixtapes and events and stuff now.
Oh, okay, okay,
But
got
we've
you.
decided, like when we kind of did those tracks and stuff. They didn't, we all I didn't know what was going on with myself, and I think they were sorting stuff out. So it was like, all right, Ice Machine Boys, Percy Bones, and then it's kind of like evolved into something else. But yeah, man, they never went anywhere. They're still about. Like, big
Yeah,
up.
y'all was like a little like a good. I like the sound y'all was coming out with. Like y'all had something really going over there. Like even from the ad libbing that you have is sick. I fuck with the ad libs and like I said, you add more creativity and go above and beyond than like the normal artists that I've been seeing lately.
Man, I appreciate that. Like, I like that I can just make a track completely like laughable. Like, I just like lay a verse, basic ad
Mhm.
libs, and then I'm just like, you know what, this needs a hey or a scream or a,
Not even that laugh. You have like this signature laugh you put in like the beginning of your songs, and that shit is
yeah, man. I've actually been thinking about dropping that, but that was just like another one. It was just kind of like I'm sat on my own, being a complete recluse weirdo, and I'm like, haha. And then it was like, oh,
that's stuck.
let's
I'm not
pull the
gonna lie.
filter.
I try to listen to that whenever I hear your songs. I'm like, oh, that's Percy. Right? I fuck that you have signature looks that I don't really see on nobody else.
Yeah, man. I'm taking notes right now from you. I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's a tick. I'm gonna keep that. That's a tick. I'm gonna keep that.
Is there
Man,
any way that people can get to like sponsor or like if they feel like they want to contribute and help you out somewhere? Is there a link or something that they can visit that where they can I guess like donate or something?
I
You
mean,
got a
I
Patreon
recently, I'm
or
not really, yeah. With that, I recently, like a few months back, I started like a Patreon. I haven't promoted it or anything.
okay?
It's just kind of for the people that people that really do the research when they're like
Okay.
clicking through my links and they're like, oh, he has a Patreon. So like I have a few Patriots on there. Like if you want to get me on there, like I feel like I have like a £3 one, a 10, and a 30. And if you sign up for the 30, you get free merch
Oh
every
yeah, you
month.
guys do want to get
Yeah,
the
yeah,
merch.
yeah.
Trust me, there's plenty of these and better.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like with the whole regards to like the merch and people giving me money and stuff like that. Like I'm not trying to rinse people, so it's
Yeah, of
just like
course, of
if
course.
people want to subscribe to me like that much, then yeah, they can like hit that Patreon. I put like videos and songs like earlier on the Patreon so they can like check that out. And sometimes I just do like a little lonely podcast with like me and my cat. You know what I mean? So you can just hear me talk about some like real life traumas or just some bullshit or like a rant.
I
But
might have
yeah,
to tune in on one of those. I
yeah,
do
man.
want.
If you want to hit the Patreon though, guys, yeah, like you don't have to, but I fuck with you if you do that. I really fuck with you if you do that.
Definitely, yeah, I gotta definitely pick up on that Patreon and definitely, like I said, go get that merch. You got a lot of nice clothing on there, some hoodies too. I fucks with, so that's the next thing I'm gonna definitely cop from you. Is there anything else you want to let the audience know, let your fans know? Is there any special message you want to get out to anybody? Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, well, okay, so Disorder, that's out in like I believe like an hour and a half or something. I don't know where in the world you are or what time you're watching this, but
Yeah,
go
we're on
check
Eastern
out
Standard.
Disorder, Percy Bones X Yaks Womp. That's coming out. And alongside that, I'm dropping like a whole new selection of merch. I just restocked the shirt that you're wearing, like Mr. Bones, the virus shirt that like I don't know why, but people went crazy about that one. And I've added loads of other pieces of merch like that I'm really happy with. And I've taken the time to actually link up with really good suppliers this time. And I'm taking like I think it costs more
Hmm.
because it's all being shipped from Japan, but it's
Okay.
like this is a really good company, and I'm taking like minimal profit from it just so I can guarantee that people have like the best quality garments. Because before, I was just sending from online and put like resources and stuff that I had without actually seeing the shirts myself.
Oh,
But
okay.
like now I'm in links with like a company where I know that it's good quality shit. So yeah, if you want to support your boy and you want to look fresh, like go hit up my merch, man. Like you would have seen, I would have dropped that by the time you see this video. In terms of shout outs, man, there's too many people that I fuck with, but I'm just be like, big up Oblivious Domain, straight up, man, fucking with me from the back, man, straight from the back. Like, I don't even know if this is the first interview, gang,
This
game,
is the
whatever.
first
Just
interview,
stick.
matter of fact.
Big love to this guy. Shout out Chibi Ignorant, The Bastard Hand, Sage Beats, Yak Swamp, all my Leeds homies, all the skaters that know me. You know, that's it, man. Like, I don't know really what else to say, but yeah,
Right?
check me out, man. I'm worth a listen, I guess.
Oh, definitely is. Y'all do not sleep on this dude. This is one of my favorite underground artists right now. And I really appreciate your time because I know you all the way in Japan and we're in Florida, so it's way different time zones. So I
Yeah,
really
man. Like
appreciate your
you're
time.
in the lab right now. You're in the lab, and it must be like what, like
Technically, yeah, I'm in the lab.
six
Yes,
six
sir.
a.m.
Shit.
Like,
So I appreciate you, fam. You be safe, and I'll keep you posted.
yeah, big love, man. And you know, people must know we're friends outside of this. Yo,
Definitely,
DM me, bro. DM me. I'll catch you soon.
definitely. Shout out, bro. Y'all
Yeah.
be safe, man.
Hey, Percy Bones. I'm out.